This is another song I've done recently, well, last month. It was on the 20th of October. I've come back to it after getting things like RC20. Not sure if I put any other VSTs in there, but I mainly used a sample on it. It's quite a short one, so it'll be quite quick. Here, let's have a listen. So really good sample. It is by Cymatics. Let's see this. That was a sample. I broke it up, put it into different sections. You've got one here in the introduction with not much on it. You've got here with the bass. The one without the bass I used on the intro, quick bridge section here, and then the outro. So didn't flip it or anything. This was still quite early on, and I still don't really know how to change the samples much. So had it as the original, and then I made the drums to it. So I made the drums in a pattern and then separated the tracks. Though I've stopped doing that because it's kind of annoying now. When you just want to listen to the drums, it's so much easier to just click it in the pattern and listen to it rather than when they're all on their own individual tracks. When I first got flstudio, like a month, 2 months ago, I got a bunch of Cymatics samples. So I was using mainly them, and then some Lex Luger stuff that I had from years back. So yeah, I used a bunch of that. There's a cool stomp sound in here as well. And yeah, those were the drums. Pretty simple. I think I kind of wanted to keep this quite minimalistic. I also added a piano in here. I added this piano after the drums, just a bit of to intensify the drop, so to speak. It's a Cymatics sample. Yeah, which is really good. Keys, Rodeo. Here I've got a bunch of instrument samples. Cymatics had some really nice ones. Really good for making some melodies. Sound quite cool. And then on the other section, I added this. And just dropped the volume down so it sounds like a delay. I did put this melody there, but it just sounded a bit too much. So I just went with the ending section. There is another sample, drum sample, that I used as a rise. Here, I have a little hit hammer sound, again, Cymatics. And then it was kind of done. I added this section here, pattern 14, which is Flex Still Night. Just a, you know, like a pad in the background, basically. Kind of just supports the melody. I left it like that pretty much, and then I came back to it and added this. That was, again, to just add a bit more texture to it. So I added this when I got heat up. Messes up. My heat up is messed up. It doesn't, whenever I come back into the programs, it doesn't show the instrument. But, you know, guitar sound, distorted guitar sound. So that was nice. I also wanted to add another little melody section. We could play that. We could play that here. but I just got fed up with it really and wanted to stop trying. I kind of just wanted the track to be done. I'm trying to just make sure that I actually finish the tracks, no matter how good or bad they sound. Those are all the instruments that I used. We'll look at the mix now. So I used some retro color. This is on the main melody. I'm also just figuring out kind of how to use RC20, but it's so good. I can see why a bunch of people use it. This was when I didn't really know what I was doing. Kind of just piled a bunch on that I'd remembered from past years of beat making. Some EQ on the Rhodes key, the piano section. Just make that a bit more spooky. Some overdrive, some reverb, sound goodizer, which I don't really know what it does, but maybe just pushes the volume up. Bass boost, and then some retro color. I'm still figuring out how to use retro color and the parameters of it, but it's really, really good. The presets are great, and then I just basically put a preset on, and then change certain things of it to make it sound okay. Other things I've used are reverb, more EQ, and then on the guitar section, from the heat up VST, EQ, stupid stereo enhancer, retro color, destructor, which I think is distortion, and that's basically it. Hopefully I'll get better at going through exactly what I've done. At this point, I think it was still just oh, this will sound good, and this sounds good, and this sounds good. So at some point I'll get better on actually knowing what I'm putting on and things like this. I do know the EQ and the reverb and delay, like, you know, the typical things, but the actual plugins, what they do, and how to say it correctly, I'm still figuring out. That was everything on this track, and here is the track in its entirety.